And this morning on Today's Family, grocery shopping with your kids. Supermarkets can be a virtual playground for your kids, but they generally don't head for a healthy food section or healthy foods if given the choice. Syndicated columnist and Today Show contributor Phil Lempert took some kids to the store to see for himself what they like to eat these days. Yeesh, not exactly healthy choices, huh?
But it's what you would expect because of all the hundreds of millions of dollars that are spent on advertising, colorful packaging, and so on. Bottom line is kids follow what we as parents and we as adults actually buy. If they see an adult on TV drinking soda or eating candy, they want to be just like the adult. So we have a responsibility to teach our kids how to eat properly.
Especially because the American Academy of Pediatrics did a recent survey and they found that 1 out of 4 kids under the age of 12 in this country is overweight, right?
Overweight or obese, and that's double the amount that it was 30 years ago. So bottom line, we as parents and adults are not doing a great job when it comes to kids' nutrition, and also kids are exercising less, they don't know how to shop, they don't know what healthy foods are all about. So it's more important than ever before, especially summertime before we go back to school, to get kids to really identify what foods are good in the supermarket and what's a better laboratory than a supermarket to actually teach your kids.
Your first piece of advice is to go food shopping as a family.
Definitely. Again, it's all about modeling. If you and I are going down the aisle and we pick the healthy cereal, guess what? That's what the kids are going to want. If we get produce, and if we like the produce items, that's what they're going to want.
But a lot of parents can't imagine a worse experience than shopping with their children and having their kids wanting them to buy all this junk and having to say no and creating a scene and then having a child have a temper tantrum on the floor at the grocery store.
Exactly. And the reason is partially that keep in mind that what we have a tendency to do if a child is getting upset in the store, we'll give them some chips or we'll give them some candy to shut them up. To just say, oh, leave me alone, I got to do my shopping. That's the wrong thing to do. Obviously, if they become part of the process, if in fact they're shopping with you, you're asking them questions, you're allowing them to pick foods, they're going to be a lot less hectic.
You say spend time in the produce section.
I do. I love the produce section, and also kids do as well. Number one, all the colors are there. The average produce department today has over 400 different products in it. Most produce managers, if you go up to them and say, oh, I'd like to taste something, they'll cut it open for you. They love the colors, they love the aromas. And what I always suggest to people is put your kids in charge of the produce. Every time that they go shopping with you, let them select whatever they want. It's up to them. They have to talk to the produce manager, find out about the product, and then prepare the food at home.
And there's also so many new exotic choices. You should probably encourage them to try different. What is this, a mango or a papaya?
That's a mango, but also cherimoyas, and just there's so many kiwis. Kids love the different shapes and the different smells.
Right.
And it's great. In fact, we were talking before, and a lot of the people on the show talked about the fact that kids love avocados, and they also love artichokes, and just different green products that they can come up with.
Okay, they're just fun to look at. The other thing you say is read labels with your kids. How realistic is that, Phil?
It's very realistic. Let's say Ellie, and I know she doesn't, goes up and down the aisles with you and says, Mom, I want Cocoa Puffs. So fine, let her take out the Cocoa Puffs and say, okay, see what this says? It says calcium, it says vitamins, but turn around the side of the package. Now here's the good news. A lot of cereal companies are now adding more information, nutritionally speaking, written for kids. So here's the story about calcium. But also at the same time, what you might want to do is give her another box of cereal to look at and tell her what organic means. Also, bring her to the parts of the store which has organic products. I'm serious. It is your responsibility. You have 2 gorgeous daughters who have to grow up big and strong.
We don't buy Cocoa Puffs, by the way.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I buy healthy cereal, so.
Okay, well, that's a good modeling, but you have to explain to them why, so that when they're old enough to get those own choices, that they don't fall backwards and then want the Cocoa Puffs because you didn't let her have Cocoa Puffs all these years.
Okay. Also, you say talk to store managers with your kids. Are store managers really willing, and do they really have the time to do this?
They have the time, and they are willing. Keep in mind, the store manager typically is stuck in the back room most of the time, counting money, unloading boxes, checking inventory. If you go in there and just say, oh, I'd like you to give a store tour to my children, I'd like you to introduce them to the managers, they love doing that. They really do. And for them, it makes their job that much better as well.
Okay, quickly, Phil. You say introduce kids to coupons?
Introduce kids to coupons. In fact, here's my best tip. You want to save a lot of money this week, you take the Sunday supplement coupons, and what you do, these have typically $30 or $50.
Right.
You give them a percentage of the savings for their allowance. 10%, 20%, 50%. They love the colors. They get used to ads. And bottom line is you're going to save more money because you and I typically will not spend the time going through those.
And finally, let them help you cook in the kitchen. And this is a cute idea. These are little watermelon.
These are watermelon. I put watermelon in a blender. The pits go to the bottom. And then what we did is we put in little shot glasses, or you can do them in ice cube trays. You freeze them, and it's a healthy snack for a fraction of the cost. And they have fun doing it. And
okay.
that's the whole point.
Oh, good. I can't wait to go to the grocery store.
Well, come on, let's go.
Okay,
let's go.
Thanks, Phil. If you want more information on how to shop and eat healthy with your kids, you can log on to our website at today.msnbc.com. We'll be back in a moment, but first, this is Today on NBC.